Welcome back, everyone. Are you ready to put on your thinking cap? When we just finished reading this beautiful, beautiful book called Leaf Man. And in Leaf Man, we saw how the leaves, as the wind blew them around, could change into different animals. And so we started with Leaf Man, but we saw chickens and mice and ducks and butterflies and fish and turtles, all kinds of things. So today, our craft is fairly simple. We're using leaves, a piece of paper, glue, and our imagination. Where can you get your imagination? Your imagination comes from inside of you. And so I am going to, the very first thing you have to do when you're getting ready to do Leaf Man is that you have to go outside and collect leaves. And I got a little crazy collecting my leaves. I'm only going to show you a few of them that I have out here. And as you can see, you have to dry them because when you get a leaf off of the ground, it's usually wet from the dew, and it can kind of be like curly, and it's, you can bend it. You want this to be flat and dry so you'll be able to glue it onto your paper. So the way you do that is you have to get them several days before you're going to do your picture. And that's why I have these big books out here to show you. What I've done is once you get the leaves, you either put them, it's better if you have like old newspaper, and you don't want the newspaper that's glossy or real shiny, because that way the moisture from the leaf can't go anywhere. You want just the regular paper, and as you can see, I have some leaves that I dried in here. So you just put your leaf down and you make sure they're not touching the other leaves. You fold it up and you put it into a heavy book. A heavy book. This paper will protect your book so your book doesn't get hurt. You slide it in and close it. And then it has to sit in there and you can't mess with it. You have no peeking. You have to leave it there for several days. And then when you go back and you open up your book and you take out, if you don't have the newspaper, which does work better, you can use paper towels. And when you open it up, and you look at what you have, you'll have your dry leaves. These happen to be maple leaves. And see how they're standing up real straight and tall and flat. They're nice and dry. And now they're ready to be turned into beautiful creatures. So you need a fat book. And if you don't have a big fat book, if you use a little one and then you put something heavy on top of it for a few days, kind of like this, that will also work. And you're saying, well, what's in the big book, Miss Mary? I'm going to show you. I think it's the biggest leaf I have seen this year. And as you can see, the leaves that I have, they're all different shapes, colors, sizes, and types. Right here, what we're going to do today is we're going to make some butterflies, and we're going to use maple leaves. And as you see, they're different colors and different sizes. You saw the little maple leaves that I just showed you a few minutes ago. In this book is the biggest tulip popular leaf I have seen. And you can have a leaf that is, I don't know if you can even see this. It's so tiny. a little tiny green leaf. Let me see if I put a piece of white paper up behind it. Can you see how little that leaf is? Wait till you see Giganto over here. Let me get him. I didn't even think he was going to fit in this book, and as you can see, he's peeking out just a little bit. This leaf is so big, it's bigger than my face. So it's definitely bigger than your face. Look at the size of this thing. Holy moly. That's one big leaf. Certainly a lot bigger than this little tiny guy. So leaves come in all shapes and all sizes, depending on the kind of tree it is. It's kind of like families. And I'll show you another family. These are all oak leaves. These are the trees that give us the acorns. And as I was showing you before, the acorns come in different sizes and shapes also, and depending on what kind of oak tree it is. So these, even though they look different, and they're different sizes, and different shapes. And look at this one. This is a long, skinny one. These are all from oak trees. Different oak trees. It's the family of oak trees. Just like your family, everyone looks kind of the same, but everyone's a little different. And so that's the way it is with trees also. And look at this oak leaf. It doesn't look at all like the other oak leaves. So now let's look at the creations that I have made to show you today. Just some examples. This one I put on white paper so it would be easier to see the different leaves that I have used. Can you guess what these are? Can you guess what this guy is? Or this guy? They swim in the water. Here's a hint. This guy can come out of the water or stay in the water. This guy stays in the water. Here's my fish. I used a dogwood leaf and ginkgo leaves. And this, I can't remember what tree I got that one from. Probably a bush. And then here's my turtle. And you can see I used a dogwood leaf for him, and this dogwood leaf is bigger than that one. And he's got little yellow leaves that are for his feet. And he's got a small one for his head. So there's my turtle and my fish. And now, can you guess what these guys are supposed to be? These are my birds. So I have two birds, and you see I used lots of different leaves for them. And this one I actually used a little leaf for his eye. But this one, that little dark spot, that was on the leaf. So I used the leaf that had a spot, and I made it turn into the bird's eyeball. And he's got their wings and their feet and their bodies and their beaks. And then I had to make a leaf man. I mean, that is what our story is called, isn't it? So here is my leaf man, and I had to get a big piece of paper for him. And I used a sycamore leaf, a red bud leaf, some maples, Japanese maples. These are from a cherry tree. These were from my forsythia. These were from a wild plum. And this is a little bush, but I forget what it was called. But I used them for the eyes and the mouth. So here's my little leaf man blowing around. So now you say, okay, that's some ideas for me. So what am I going to make now? Something different with all these leaves. So I'm going to use white paper today just so it's easier for you to see. But if you were at home, as you can see, I made him on the blue, so he's flying through the air. And the birds, here's the sky behind them, and they're on the green grass. So you can certainly do the colors at home, but I thought just for you to be able to see it a little bit better, I'm going to use the white. And so I'm going to use some beautiful maple leaves. And as you can see, these are maple, but they are not, oops, the same color. So I'm going to turn them using these, and I'm going to use some from my sea oats, leaves from my sea oat plant. And I'm going to turn these 4 leaves into 2 butterflies. I'm using my imagination, and I'm going to create butterflies out of these leaves. So all I need is my dry leaves, my paper, my imagination, and glue. So once you have decided what you want to make, you can place your leaves around where you want them to be and decide, yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks kind of the way I want it to look. And then once you have them kind of in the place that you want them to be, then you're ready to glue. So all you want to do is turn your leaf over onto the side that has the vein. And as always, you glue the item, the smaller item that you're putting down onto the paper. You don't need a whole lot of glue. Just follow it around so you kind of get the outline of the leaf. Not a whole lot of glue. And then you just very carefully press it down where you want it to be. And then for the body, you just very carefully put a little bit of glue on it. You don't want a whole lot. The leaves are very thin. And as I was just saying, don't put too much. Well, look, what happens if you put too much? Well, that's easy to fix. You just take something else that you need to glue and put some of the extra right on it. So now you have not a whole lot on here, and you can put him down. And this is the body of the butterfly. So now we do the wings for this butterfly. And sometimes you might want to use the stems, but other times you want to cut the stem off. The stem will be harder to glue down because it's thicker. So then you just make sure you press it down. And so now, using my dried leaves, my glue, and my imagination, I have turned 4 leaves into two butterflies. Have fun collecting leaves, drying them, and making wonderful leaf creatures. See you.